Have you ever watched a film and thought, gee, that place looks familiar? And how closely do you look at movie credits? Be honest, do you watch all the way to the end? Scott Braid, program director for the Maryland Film Festival, and documentary filmmaker Joe Tropea joined Smarts for a look at Made in Baltimore County films and filmmakers. Good to see you both.
Good to be here. It's great to be here.
Well, Scott, you now head up the Maryland Film Festival, one of my favorite events of the year, attended by people from all over the place, and I know a lot of Baltimore County folks as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The festival definitely draws heavily from the county and from the city, and hopefully from the whole region.
Right. And how do you think, what kind of environment does Baltimore County provide for wannabe filmmakers and established filmmakers like our other guest here today?
Well, I think, one of the things that Baltimore County provides and fosters is it has such a great diversity of locations and experiences. There's so much access to culture in the city and in the county, and you can really get. It seems like now even more so than ever you can have access to. Schools have filmmaking programs, and when we were growing up, it maybe wasn't quite as.
No, not at all.
My film school was a video store, which were so prevalent when we were growing up.
Yeah, video stores, huh?
Yeah,
I don't think they exist anymore.
But I grew up in Perry Hall, and we had a great local video store that was sort of my film school and got me interested in film. But then, I was able to take some film classes at Baltimore County community colleges, and that sort of started me down this path.
Good. Okay, so Joe, you are one of our esteemed Baltimore County filmmakers. You grew up here as well?
I grew up in Freeland, also known as the Hereford Zone.
Yes, I know that. Well, so you've done a number of films, and some that have been very well received. Tell us about your latest film.
My latest film is the history of movie censorship. It's called Sickies Making Films, and it chronicles the Maryland Censor Board, which from 1916 to 1981 had to review every film shown in a theater here in the state.
So was the Maryland Censor Board, is it a tough board? I mean, was it considered conservative compared to, I didn't even know that does each state have its own censor board?
No, but many states did, and then many cities had them. It was actually a very confusing system. Maryland had a tough board. A lot of the people that were on the board were characters, which is a nice way of saying they had agendas and were kind of interesting people.
Yeah. How did you come up with the title?
The title is a quote from one of the censors, a woman named Mary Vera, had very strong opinions, and she did the TV show circuit. She went on Carson, she went on Dick Cavett. And she was a quote machine. I mean, she just dropped quotes. And I found some footage of her saying, we've got sickies making films. And I thought, well, that's a better title than I could write.
So you interview some local people,
I interview
some local celebrities.
Yeah, I interviewed John Waters. A lot of the story of my documentary is the story of his filmmaking career.
Censorship and John Waters probably go hand in hand.
He had some notorious battles with the board. But I interview historians, and I look at the censorship from its early days, which really was as soon as film started.
Yeah.
As soon as people started making movies, people wanted to censor them. Yeah. And we look at the various reasons they got censored: race, politics, violence, obviously obscenity and sex.
Yeah. A lot of thought-provoking and very relevant, continually relevant issues.
Yes.
Well, now, what I find interesting too is the Maryland Film Festival and the filmmakers here. A lot of these films are set in the east part of the county in Dundalk.
Yeah, this year in particular, we saw two major features that were made in Dundalk, which were different but rooted in the same sort of working class ethos. There was Matt Porterfield's Solars Point, which premiered at the San Sebastian Film Festival, I believe, and went on to get distribution with a major national distributor and have a theatrical run around the country. And then there was a film called,
I think All Squared.
All Squared, yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
Which was our closing night film last year, which was made by a person who is a Hollywood director, but that decided that Dundalk was a great location to set, sort of a working class comedy drama.
Terrific. So that portends then some good future films being made right here in Baltimore County by you and your colleagues, I suspect.
Yeah, I mean, we're always looking for great work from Baltimore County, Baltimore City, and there's a lot of talent in this area.
Terrific.
For sure.
Well, we look forward to seeing your film and your film about Catonsville 9. I mean, we could go on and on, but we're out of time. Thank you both for being here, and thank you for all the good work you're doing.
Thanks
Thank
for having
you.
us.
All right. Thanks for watching. This is Smarts, the Baltimore County Arts and Culture Show.